All right, so I want to talk a little bit about memory that's available on microcontrollers and edge devices and so forth. What the different type of memories are and why it's important. So I'm starting off with flash memory, and flash memory is where the program you upload will be stored. So even if you switch off your microcontroller, that memory will stay uh, on that chip and be available when you start up again. So the bigger the flash memory is, the bigger the program can be. That's why, if you compare an Arduino Uno to the ESP, it's like 100 times more flash memory. That's why you can do quite amazing things like running a whole website on the microcontroller. Something we'll do very, very soon. But that's the type of memory to use for that. It's called flash memory. The next memory is SRAM memory. Now, RAM memory is super fast, but once you switch off your microcontroller, the memory disappear. What is this memory about? You can see they talk about storing temporary variables and so forth. So what happens, for instance, if you're going to read the day-night sensor and it's got a value in there, that value that you read will be stored in this SRAM. And now in your code, you can do things like pointing to that variable all the time to say, if this value of the LDR is above, let's say, 500, do this. If memory or if the LDR value is below 500, do something else, or even just print out on my screen the value of the LDR. Now you mention this LDR 3 times, above this, below this, and print, but it's stored only once in this SRAM memory, and you extremely quickly get that value back to work with. Then on the next loop, you can say, all right, let's read the value now, right? It might change. And it will now replace this new value with the old value. So you already have an idea what a variable is also. It is a container to store some kind of a value in memory that you can get to in your code in a very quick way. So a variable is really just a name with a value to that name. So I can create something like an LDR equals whatever the LDR value is, and then just from now on say get me the value of the LDR in memory. That's SRAM. PSRAM, on the other hand, is a larger RAM, and that's used for applications that need more temporary memory. So what can happen sometimes, right, is that you're going to need a lot of data in memory. For instance, in AI, if you're going to have a data set or something like that, a nice trained model, you can have that whole model in memory, and you can get values out of that extremely quick. All right, so you can add this additional memory to your microcontroller if you so wish. ROM is read-only memory, contains essential system routines or boot code that usually cannot be altered during normal operation. So what you'll find is that even the ESP comes with that type of memory, and it allows you to upload and download your code to your microcontroller. And then lastly, we'll have cache. It's very small but extremely fast memory in the processor that temporarily stores recently accessed instructions or data to speed up operations. You'll find that very often in computers, that once you executed something, that data stays available, so that if you want to execute it again, it will now actually have it in memory, and it will execute it much faster because you don't have to go and download it from some other place. I use Flash for saving code, as we said, and persistent data. SRAM for active calculations and large temporary arrays. We'll look at all these things very soon. And RAM for foundation system processes, like that software that will stay on the microcontroller, that allows you to upload and download your programs. So that's all I have to say about memory. As we carry on to tier 3 and 4, we're going to work more with memory, especially when we're going to do AI predictions from data sets and so forth. I'll see you in the next lesson, and we're now going to then start with the conventional programming things. Not very excited or exciting, but it's foundational understanding of coding that's important, that you can use in your AI to make your applications even better. I'll see you in the next lesson.